go. That looks like the first night's camp spot. We've got wood, fresh wood and everything. Okay, here we go. Here's Gordon River down that way. Here we are at the first campsite. It's the Lloyd Rapids. I'm halfway in between here. Never had a chance to make it all the way down to the good campsite, so I'm just gonna crash here tonight. Probably about right there, underneath, just underneath the stars, with a sleeping bag and a canvas. Here we are, beautiful day on the Clearwater River, June 4th. Today is day 2. We just finished the Lloyd portage, first portage there was. And there's some of the rapids that we didn't want to go through. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Okay, there's a shot of the Lloyd Rapids. Hope you can see it. We get some rock paintings. Here we are on the beautiful Clearwater River. This is the Granite Gorge. 5-foot drop up there. Here we are at the Gorge Portage, about halfway through it. Camp's a little messy. We got a pork chop and a baked potato, and then it'll be good night. Here we are. This is the Virgin River. Little waterfall here. Here we are at Beauty Falls. Nice looking canoe and rig. There's the falls over there. Go over and take a closer look. Here we are at the Granite Gorge. Got the canoe unloaded, all ready for the portage. There it is there. Go down and take a closer look. There we go, the Granite Gorge. Would like to try something like this maybe 50 years ago, but now, I don't know. Awful beautiful though. At the campsite at the end, Gorge Portage. Just a beautiful trail walking through here. Yes, it's something else. Here we are at the end of the Granite Gorge Portage. We'll just dispose of some consumables here. These guys thought they were going on a safari, but for sure the dry bag work said there was no water in it at all. So how many years it kept them wherever they crashed at? Probably at Beauty Rapids, Beauty Falls. Anyways, we'll light a fire and burn them up. Nobody wants to see this junk on the road. This is the bottom of the Granite Gorge. Here's an unnamed Class 3 rapid. I've decided not to run. I've got the canoe portage over on the other side and I'm high and dry. Who wants to fool this? Beautiful evening, the bugs are down. This is a great country. Here we are, sunset in the Clearwater River. It's coming towards me and it's going away. There's my ride home down on the bottom. Beavers have been chewing on these jack pines. Here's the tent and camp set up. My big Angus chair. Got a baked potato on the fire, and we're trying to cook some bannock there. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Okay. Here we are, morning of day 7. About 5:30 in the morning, sun just coming up. Look at that river. Here's my ride home. Beautiful wooden canvas canoe. We're heading that direction. About 7 kilometers is the bridge for Highway 995. Here's what camp looks like. Should be gone in a half hour or so. Here we are, 6th day into the journey. You look down the river there, you can see the end of my canoe and the Warner Rapids Bridge, road to Cluff Lake. This is numerous boulders rapids. Probably all should have been named that because it is just full of boulders and boulders and boulders. I just really can't believe I made it through here without hitting bottom. There's maybe 6 or 8 foot drop all through the rocks here. The rapid extends up there for about 3 kilometers before this. Looks like it's going to be a lovely day. Well, there it is. The only bridge across the Clearwater River, and it's 185 miles from Lloyd Lake to the Athabasca River. Warner Rapids here. I'll better go check it out. Lunchtime here at Tricky Ledges Portage. Portage is pretty good. We can probably use the Portage card here. We'll walk down here and show you a look at the rapids. Probably can't see a lot from here, but it's too nasty for my liking. Here we are on day, I guess, 8. Breaking camp at the Descharmes River confluence. There's a little portage trail here that goes in between the trapper's cabin and the Descharmes River. It's got an old boat here, and there's the view down the Clearwater River. Gould Rapids next stop. Here we are at the famous Gould Portage. The river just ran that set of rapids up there. The river comes down this way and goes into a canyon, and there's some real bad rapids and stuff in there. Here's the canoe. We still got to unload it. I'll just give you a shot of what's ahead on the Portage Trail. She's pretty tight. And a lot of windfalls from the 2015 fire. So pretty well got to be high stepping her all the way here. Who needs a stair machine when you got that to look at? Okay, here we are at the end of the Gould Portage. That took a little while. I think it's about 3:45 now, and I started at 11 o'clock, so 3 3/4 hours to cut the trail and make 3 trips across. We got the canoe all loaded up there, everything's tied in, and we're off to Smooth Rock Falls, about a 1.5 miles downstream. The way the current's going, it won't take long. There's Smooth Rock Falls, Portage Trail right there. Look at the rock formations. Still a couple of big trees left there. Just thought I'd take you for a little tour. Hope the rock don't cave in on me while I'm underneath it. Here we are at Smooth Rock Falls. Campsite all set up. Been drizzling all day, so we got some things drying out here. Washed the socks. Got bannock cooked. Been at a lot of campsites, but I don't know if I've ever been at one like this. Muncho Lake, White Mud Falls, I don't know, but this one's pretty beautiful. This falls just keeps on going on and on and on. Here we are, June 11th. It's the 8th or 9th day we've been in on this. Usually want to get going earlier. Today, I don't know. Pretty hard to leave this campsite. And the beautiful view we got of the Smooth Rock Falls here. One more look at her before we take off. Here's a quick lesson in biology. You can see this Precambrian rock here where the mold has attached itself to the rock, and then we got the lichen attached to the mold, and then over here we got the caribou moss eating off of the lichen. So to the people who live in the city and think that mold is a bad thing, then they would have had nothing to eat. Caribou weren't eating the caribou moss that's growing off the lichen, that's growing off the mold on the rock. Back at the head of the Smooth Rock Falls portage here. Just going to take the mothballs off the canoe. No bears were around last night, thank goodness. And yeah, we only got 1,300 meters to take this puppy over to the other side. Already got one load done, so we'll strap on the paddles and away we'll go. Here we are, about a third of the way across the smooth rock portage. I'm just going to take a little break here. Got the canoe hung up on a handy windfall here. Hope I can make it underneath. Saves me from hoisting it again. A lot of rock. I think this pink stuff's called dolomite. And yeah, I did make it underneath the log. Really hate to leave this place, but who knows, maybe someday I'll be back. There you go, nice looking fish. You know what they say, you never starve on the Clearwater River as long as you got a 5 of diamonds. There's a shot of Skull Falls. Pretty airing picture. I don't want to get too close to the edge. There we see it coming down. Going down there to the rapid below. I'll cut the camera off and try to get a shot above. Water goes on the other side. We're not going over there to film that. Here I go, up into my little castle. Most of the stuff packed up. Just gotta pack up the tent. We'll be on our way. Okay, there we go. We're on our way from Skull Canyon Falls. There's the rapids below. If you look right up in that direction there, you'll see a little red ribbon. That's where I was camped last night. Here we are at the bottom of a section of the Simpson Rapids. Runs for 5 kilometers. Just around the corner there. Just around this corner here, there were some pretty big waves. And now we're in the process of getting the cup and bailing out the back of the boat. Probably got a couple inches in there, nothing too much to worry about. Here's the portion of the rapids at Simpson Rapids. This is kind of like a falls. You got a portage across on the island. The little creek comes out on this side here, but there's too many logs across and you can't go. So anyways, this should be the last of the falls behind me. Just take you for a quick walk on the Portaging trail. Just about all these trails, you got to cut out some stuff. I'm the first guy across this year, so oh well. You're the guy with the Swede saw. Here we are at the bottom of the Simpson Rapids. The last rapid I got to run in Saskatchewan. It doesn't really probably look very impressive from here, but there was 5 kilometers of it. And yeah, I would have really liked to got some footage of me running the rapids, but I just didn't feel confident enough in my ability to get the movie camera going and not running into anything at the same time. And that could have been a real disaster, so we just get a few shots. Okay, it's off to the contact portage. Here we are, contact portage. Looks like we got a bonus here. Looks like somebody was here through with the snowmobile last winter. Look at how wide this thing's cut. And definitely with the power saw, nobody's going to use the speed saw for that. So I guess that means that the trail should be good and I'll have to use my portage cart. Across the other side, the McClellan River coming in there. And obviously you see there, you never can clean off the branches because they're probably stuck in the snow. So absolutely evidence of a snowmobile. Let's say maybe 2 hours we'll have everything across. We'll see. Here we are. We got the supper all done and everything hauled across to the end of contact portage. The last piece of premium shield on Clearwater River. Should be smooth sailing from here till Whitemud Falls. Anyways, it was a cruel joke. I thought that we were going to have a nice clear trail to use the portage cart. I'll walk down a little bit of it and you can see what we're up against. All this fallen timber is not much of a match for a Swede saw. And now the new growth is coming up. But anyway, someday somebody will come along, or the government will come along and fix these trails up. Well, here you're getting back to a little bit of a better spot. You can see some people have done a lot of hard work here clearing it out, but because there's so many trees, it's just endless. Here we are, it's about 7:30 in the morning, June 12th. We're on our way down to the Methane Portage. That's probably the last view we'll get of this boulder strewn portion of the Clearwater River. It's pretty, but on the other hand, it could be dangerous. You get a canoe wrapped around one of them rocks there, it'll stay there till next spring. Anyways, on my way. Here I'm at the Portage. Spent a week here in 1971. Haven't been back since. Kind of looks the same though, especially on the other side of the river where we landed the airplane over there. There's a few additions, aluminum boats and a few gas cans down here. Here we got a very little insignificant island. But on one side of the island is Saskatchewan, the one we just crossed there, and on the other side is Alberta. Here we are, White Meadow Falls Campground. Made about 47K today, from all the way from Contact Rapids to White Mud Falls. Got supper done. Got the tent set up over there. Just gonna go down and take a couple of shots of the falls. Water's pretty high, so it should look out pretty good. Quite a steep climb to get the back out of here. Beautiful morning here on White Mud Falls Campground. Getting the first cup of coffee boiled. Everything spread out here on the table. Finally getting to use the canoe dolly there. It's about 10 to 5. Should be out of here by about 6:30, maybe 7. There's White Mud Falls in the background there. We tried to get away early, but that happened. But we got halfway down the portage and we broke a bolt on the gunnel on the cross piece here. So we got her all stitched back together after about an hour's delay. So oh well, we're on the road again. Here we are at the Portage of the Pines. Just got to get unloaded here. Go up and take a look at how bad this trail is. It's been burnt over since the last time I was here. Mind you, that was a few years ago. So take a quick look and we'll head her out. Looks like the boys have been cleaned her up pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Here's a pretty unique geological formation. I guess if you're a real cold, would be a place you could kind of get at a shelter, but it kind of gives me the creeps. Someday this is going to fall in, and I didn't really want to be the guy it falls in on. There's lots of these around Pine Portage. We'll look around the other side. Woody Lynch cut this part of the Pine Portage. People don't know that, but he made this shortcut or long cut, but whatever you want to call it. It goes through a couple of swamps down there. The old Pine Portage went right through here, but it was very rocky and very steep. It might have been a little bit shorter, but it went right through the cut in those two pieces of limestone there. So probably was an improvement, even though if it is a hair longer. Here's Pine Rapids Gorge. Don't mind the horseflies. Yeah, once you're in there, it's pretty hard to get out. And as you can see from where I'm standing, it's a long ways down. And a heck of a time getting here. The worst part of the rapids is just up there at the beginning. Some bad shelves and whirlpools. Well, we made it to the cabin last night around 5 o'clock. After a little bit of a spill in the lawn. As you see, we're drying everything out here. But the canoe's still in pretty good shape. She needs a coat of paint on the bottom, that's about it. And yeah, very successful trip. Happy to be back here. Can't wait to get the grass cut and make the place look a little better.